go to the 8th verse. I want to offer 2 verses this morning. Verse 8 and verse 9. Amen. Hope the mothers look beautiful. Thank God for Carmen's relative being healed. Well, y'all look so good. Amen. Y'all come go to church with me Thursday. And come on, hang out with me. Amen. I want to read this to you, ladies and gentlemen, this morning, in that 8th verse. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. The word of the Lord is always flowers fade, grass wither, but the word of the Lord shall live forever. The light in the air, Reverend Wide from Chicago here. Always glad to have him in the building. I want to just dialogue with you for a few moments on this morning. The message entitled, You Don't Know My Story. One of the most awesome things in our society is those of us that are believers, in many instances, have lived a myth. And one of the myths that we have lived is the virtual fact, just because we are Bible toting, tambourine beating, maraca shaking Christians, we think that we are not going to have some troubles. And whoever told you just because you went to church that trouble will never come your way. I come to tell you this morning that that is a myth. If by chance somebody shared with you that sickness will not come, that's a myth. I understand your argument this morning. Your argument is I pay my time, I go to church school, I even dot by prayer meeting every now and then. But for some reason, seem like the devil is always on my track. And I've been wondering, why is it that he don't stop by somebody else's house? Because seems as if he has taken a residence in my place. I'm trying to do the best that I can. Matter of fact, every time I desire to do good. Evil is always present within me. And that stuff that I said I wasn't going to do, that's the stuff that I end up doing. And I've been trying to circumvent the process. Matter of fact, I've tried staying in the house and thought that trouble wouldn't visit me. I thought if I went to work on time and left on time, don't go to lunch with nobody, don't hang out, don't even drink with nobody, I wouldn't have no troubles. But I come to warn you this morning, trouble has a way of finding all of us. The greatest joy about trouble is that when I am a Christian, I have somebody to help me fight my battle. If it's tough with you being a Christian and somebody fighting your battle with you, then it becomes ultimately tougher to deal with stuff all by yourself. How many of you in here this morning ever had to deal with having a lonely experience or just wondering, God, when are you going to show up? Matter of fact, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm to me. There are so many days I want God to just show up and sit at the table. I don't need to try to figure this out by the Spirit. This is some of the days I need him to come and sit in the living room, sit down next to me. Let me know, number one, God, that is you. Number two, I need you to let me know what it is I need to do. And number three, God, please tell me this time in advance how I can handle the consequences when they come. And being a Christian is not an easy journey. But I want to report to you this morning that it is a worthwhile endeavor. Can I get a witness? And the Bible comes and shares with us in the 2 Corinthians account. And guess what? When Paul wrote to the church at Corinth and to the believers that were throughout all of Acadia, he wanted to identify himself twice by name. Matter of fact, you ain't got time to get this. Let me just take you there. He says it in verse 1 in chapter 1. He says it in chapter 10 and verse 1. Having found the Corinthian church during his second missionary journey, Paul and some Corinthians had frequent contacts thereafter because of some problems that they were experiencing in the church. Now, if you got problems in the church, it ain't nothing wrong with the church building. It's something wrong with the folk that come in the church. I'm in the wrong place. I noticed something. Did you notice it? That chandelier didn't argue with that chandelier. The organ and piano sit there every Sunday. They never talk to each other. Matter of fact, guess what? I've seen the pews sit here week after week, and they never roll over each other. Lord have mercy. I've seen seats that we dragged into the sanctuary when it's overcrowded, and guess what? They never ask, what's your name? It's amazing to me that we never have problems unless somebody shows up in the church. Well, guess what? The problem started somewhere else. And guess what? Many people have a tendency to operate out of their comfort zone because they can't handle what is going on the inside. And one of the most difficult things in your life is just because you are suited and booted, that does not mean that you can handle what you're dealing with on the inside. Anybody in here ever had a raging storm? As a matter of fact, let me do you a little bit better. How many of you have a secret storm? You didn't know it was coming, it just showed up. It's just like the cold weather this morning. You couldn't handle it yesterday because your body was still feeling hot. Come on, help me here. You had summer body with a winter experience. And I got some of you in here right now. The question is that who know your story? Matter of fact, if I look at you, I would say this morning, everybody in here has a pleasing, positive presence and their story. But what I come to understand that guess what? Nobody sitting next to you, even if they sleep with you, don't know your story. Oh, help me. I wish y'all just help me for a few moments. I'll bid you farewell. But I come to understand that guess what? You got a story to tell. That handkerchief in your pocket don't tell your story. That black suit don't tell your story. Come on, those of you in your white dresses. It don't really tell your story. Matter of fact, if you tell the truth, you've been through some stuff that you wish God didn't know. But you got a story to tell. Paul comes along dealing with the folk here that had some problems, and the sequence of these contacts and the setting of the writing in 2 Corinthians followed after some initial contacts and correspondence that Paul was having with the church. Now, Paul had something going on here because guess what? It was left up to Paul to do all the encouraging. Let me do that again. It was left up to him to do all the encouraging. Now, watch this. At some state of your life, you got to learn how not to wait until you get to church, not to wait until you call the pastor, the preacher, the prophet, the priest. But at some point in your life, you got to learn how to encourage yourself. That was for free. I'll get to the other part later. But guess what? Heaven forbid if you're going through a storm and you can't encourage yourself. And guess what? At some point in your life, you must learn how to say, I've never been through a storm that hadn't passed. Let me do that again. I've never been through a storm that has not passed. Have I actually get somebody a high five yet? Well, don't do it yet, but I'll get to it later. Somewhere along the way, guess what? You've had some storms, but guess what? You thought that it would never stop thundering. You thought that it would never stop lightning. You thought that the wind would never stop blowing. Can I go there this morning? It's 2012. Look at some storms you came through in 2011. Look at some you came through in 2010. And I got you this morning. Come on, talk to me. Some of you babies still handling the residue from the last storm. Come on, help me here. But I come to tell you this morning, you've never been through a storm that did not pass. And I got a couple of you babies that was shouting for you. Guess what? You ought to thank God that you ain't in some storms that you used to be in. I want to tell you this morning that don't nobody know your story. Maybe I should repeat that a little while longer. Don't nobody really know your story. Lord have mercy. And don't nobody know how much hell you really been through. And don't nobody really know, ain't nobody telling the story, how broke, how busted, how disgusted you been. And don't know, and you're acting kind of funny with me. And how many of you know that don't nobody really know your story? And matter of fact, how many times you've been on the verge of throwing the towel in, the handkerchief, and getting a whole roll of toilet paper to go get it? But I got some folk in here, guess what? You straight struggling this morning. That's why you talk to me. Because guess what? You don't nobody know your man. Matter of fact, you really don't want nobody to know your story sometimes. Especially in the church, because if they really knew your story this morning, they would get up and don't sit next to you. Because your story is too powerful. Don't nobody know your story. Paul comes along dealing with these people, and he encouraged them to settle the majority at Corinth who remained faithful to him as their spiritual father. He comes along. He challenged them to expose false prophets, false apostles who continue to speak against him personally, hoping to undermine his authority and his apostoleship and distort his message. And let me tell you something, you ever had anybody to lie on you around church? I would do that the third Sunday. You ain't never had nobody tell a story. I don't need to use that word now. I might offend somebody, but let me use it anyway. You ever had anybody that lie on you? Lord have mercy, I got the wrong group in here. You ever had anybody tell the untruth? And guess what? You had to stand all by yourself and hide the bush your ball before you go home. There comes a day in your life you got to stand all by yourself, and it ain't nobody gonna believe nothing you said. Like stand. Don't nobody know your story. I got some depressed folk living. Well, let me see, can I plug up some fellow around? You got a story to tell. I
wish your clothes could cover. I know you cute. I got it. I know you think you the stuff. I got it. I know you got biceps and triceps and all that food. But guess what? You still got to stop. So he comes along in this text. He says, he says that he was troubled on every side. Well, I need to help you with something. You may be pressed, but you're not crushed. Look, you got pressure on you this morning. Lord have mercy. Look, can I tell you something that, BCs ain't gonna help it. Buffrets, Tylenol, Walgreen migraine. It won't do it. And any time you are pressed is when there's a move or weight or force that's on top of you. Press is when you're subject to pressure. Press is when something holds you close. When you're clasped. Press is when you are pressed. When you got weight all around you. Press when something is on you too heavy for you to handle. I got some babies in this church this morning. You dealing with some stuff that's heavy. I feel the burden in here right now. You can't. A lot of times you want to say amen, but you can't because you're too pressed. I mean, your weight too heavy. That ain't your problem. Come on, talk to me here. Look, you got too much weight. Ain't no sense y'all looking at me straight. You got weight on you, and when you got weight, you don't want to be bothered. Don't ask me no question. I don't know my name today. What do you want? When you press, when you got weight on you, man, guess what? You can get up and you don't feel like putting on no clothes. You don't feel like you don't feel like combing your hair. You don't want to do nothing. You just don't want to be bothered. I mean, matter of fact, let me just at lunchtime. Let me just go sit in the car by myself. Matter of fact, I hope ain't nobody looking for me. I'm going for lunch. I'm going for break too. I mean, guess what? I just don't want to be bothered. Let me sit by myself. Because you ever seen some days when you had an attitude? Because you got the weight of the world on your shoulder. And let me tell you something. When the weight of the world on your shoulder, you don't look like a Christian that day. Matter of fact, when you got pressure, and Christian people have to deal with some pressure. Because guess what the argument is with you this morning that you just left church, and guess what? You just got through saying Sunday morning about how great thou art. Then all of a sudden ain't nothing great. And you got pressure, and guess what? The other part that you're dealing with, everybody around you is looking at you. And they're saying they went to church. Matter of fact, I see them on channel 17. Man, they was just jumping and praising the Lord. I want to see how long they can hold out. And I come to tell you this morning, but you got a story. You got a story. The writer, can I give the text? The writer says, we are troubled. And trouble is a state of depression, a state of affliction, it's difficulty of need, trouble, condition of pain, the disease of a malfunction. Trouble is when you're agitated. Trouble is when you're afflicted with pain. Trouble is when you're discomfort. Trouble is when it's caused by emotional strain, anxiety, worry, distress. Anybody here ever had to deal with trouble? Trouble is when you're bothered. Trouble is when you inconvenienced. Oh, Lord have mercy. He deals with this step. Y'all talk to me. Don't leave me out here by myself. Trouble. There it is, Lord. Trouble, man. I got some folk in here this morning. You got trouble. And guess what? It's written all over your face. And that's why Paul comes along. He says this morning, he said, we trouble not just in one place, but I'm trouble on every side. He said, everywhere I look around, I got some trouble in my life. I got trouble in my health. I got trouble with my friends. I got trouble on the job. I got trouble. Anybody know what I'm talking about? When it seems like you wish that trouble just start coming around your house. You ever just seen that they seem like trouble just got a hankering around your front door, your back door, coming your window, then come down the chimney too. Everybody come to your house, they got trouble. Everybody you call, they got trouble. And you got some trouble too. You ever call somebody and you think you got trouble, and you get off the phone with them and say, it ain't so bad out there. You call somebody, you say, thank you. Man, in fact, man, you hang up the phone, you pray to God that they don't hit you on the other end. You say, thank you, thank you. I just need to usher this home early. And guess what? I'm so glad. Y'all, I'm so glad in trouble. I need some country folk there. Won't last. Anybody here can thank God that trouble won't last always. You can just go and thank God early in the worship that trouble won't last. Oh, wait. Let me get out of here. I'm back. Trouble on every side.
Have mercy.
Watch this. If your children in trouble, you in trouble. Oh, y'all ain't talking. Your spouse in trouble. I come to break bad news to you. You in trouble too.
Tell them about
it. Get better. Lord help me. Trouble. Somebody get somebody a high five and tell them trouble on every side.
every side.
Trouble
Have mercy.
has a way of knowing your address.
Yeah, Lord.
Trouble will find your email address.
Have mercy.
Lord have mercy. Trouble, not just one side, but that you don't. Y'all so holy this year. You just had a bill to call you that you didn't pay years ago, and it's one of them days that you ain't got no money today. And it's usually because you ain't paid your time. Y'all, come on, and I come to tell you, you can't keep robbing God.
Have mercy.
But I serve a God that He's still able to open up windows of heaven and pour you out blessings that you won't have room enough to receive. I want to deal. He said trouble on David right here. On every side. Every time I think that I'm there, there's always something to pull me back. Anybody here know anything about? See, like soon as you take a step, see, like there's always a roadblock up ahead. He says trouble on every side, but just because I got some trouble, I still ain't distressed. Now that's preaching stuff. I ain't gonna give up just because I got some trouble.